In today's lesson, we will be discussing the importance and value of prevention and social-emotional learning for youth. At the end of this lesson, you will be able to define prevention and social-emotional learning, SEL, for youth, and understand the benefits and value of prevention and SEL in schools. So, why do Oklahoma students need prevention and SEL? Let's look at the data and what Oklahoma students report. To do that, we want to start by looking at the data and what Oklahoma youth are reporting. In the next few slides, we will review the facts about the behavior risks that Oklahoma youth face. According to the Youth Risk Behavior Survey completed by Oklahoma high school students in 2017, 1 in 5 students reported that they were bullied on school property. 6% did not go to school because they felt unsafe at school or on their way to or from school. 5% reported that they were threatened or injured with a weapon on school property. Females were more likely than males to be bullied on school property. And 7% of youth reported they were in a physical fight on school property. Furthermore, 57,000 students said they felt sad or hopeless. 34,000 considered attempting suicide. 24,000 made a plan to attempt suicide, and 17,000 students attempted suicide. If you or someone you know is feeling hopeless or having thoughts of suicide, please use one of the resources above immediately. Here are some facts about dating violence. 1 in 14 students experienced physical dating violence. Approximately 7,900 students recently experienced sexual dating violence, and 10.3 females were 10.3 times more likely than males to be victims of sexual dating violence. There's also a list of recommendations on this handout. And finally, students that were bullied on school property or electronically were more likely to report signs of depression and suicidal ideation. So we know that these are reasons why we need social-emotional learning and prevention in our schools. If you would like additional information or statistics about the Oklahoma Youth Behavior Risk Survey, you can visit any of the links on the previous slides in the PDF document of the presentation. Another way to get information about your specific population is to conduct a school climate survey. There is more information about school climate surveys in the next lesson, but we're going to look at a few results from one school in Oklahoma. This question helps give schools insight into the school climate. Sometimes students feel academically successful, but they do not like school. Forming focus groups to identify reasons students do not like school will help identify ways to improve overall school climate. In this question, it relates back to the importance of social-emotional learning in schools. One of the components of the social ecological model is relationship. In the question, "Teachers treat me with respect," you can see these relationships through modeling respect, and that can be taught to students. Mentioned before, focus groups can dig deeper into the root of a concern. Students identified experiencing some sort of emotional or verbal abuse in the past 12 months. Looking at healthy relationships and or social emotional learning could potentially prevent some of these outcomes. In this question, students were asked to identify 1 to 3 prevention topics they would like to learn more about. This is a great tool because no one knows students' needs better than the students themselves. This group of students identified wanting more mental health education, which can be linked back to SEL curricula. Now we can look at how integrating prevention and social emotional learning improves school climate for students. Included in the Every Student Succeeds Act, or ESSA, is language that encourages schools to establish learning environments and enhance students' effective learning skills that are essential for school readiness and academic success. ESSA also recommends in Title 9, Part A, activities that support safe and healthy students. This includes implementing systems and practices to prevent bullying and harassment, developing relationship building skills, and promoting supportive school climates to reduce the use of exclusionary discipline and promoting supportive school discipline. Prevention programs are also called health promotion. Prevention efforts are put in place to reduce the risk of a negative health outcome from occurring. These efforts often focus on multi-level public health approaches to create and contribute to the occurrence of a negative health outcome. An example of prevention is teaching healthy relationships in classrooms. In the next lesson, you will learn how to address and implement these prevention programs in a multi-level social ecological model. This will help produce positive outcomes for individuals, families, and communities. Prevention programs are very important because they help build protective factors for youth. Social and emotional learning, SEL, is the process of teaching children to understand and manage their emotions. It also teaches to foster hope through goal setting and achievement, to learn empathy for others, positive relationship skills, and how to make good decisions. The Collaborative for Academic, Social, and Emotional Learning, CASEL, identifies 5 competencies of social emotional learning. They include self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, relationship skills, and responsible decision-making. Teaching SEL programs in schools has shown to improve long-term and lifelong outcomes for students. There is a PDF document from the Collaborative for Academic, Social, and Emotional Learning, CASEL, that specifically defines the core competencies of social emotional learning. This document can be accessed in the resources at the end of this presentation. You can also learn more about the SEL competencies in the Teaching Expected Behaviors lesson in Module 3, School Climate Best Practices. SEL has positive impacts on students and teachers. SEL is a type of prevention, and prevention provides noteworthy return on investment. High social emotional competence allows educators to develop nurturing relationships with their students, helps to manage classroom behavior, allows them to serve as behavioral role models for their students, and helps in the regulation of their own emotions. Integrating SEL into your MTSS or PBIS framework provides schools with the necessary structure to effectively implement the program. A multi-tiered approach to prevention programs and SEL learning is a multi-tiered system. The universal practices should be experienced by all students and educators across all settings to establish predictability and consistency. Targeted practices are designed for groups of students who need more structure, feedback, and instruction than just Tier 1 alone. And finally, those individualized interventions meet the challenges of students that need more support than Tiers 1 and 2 alone. In prevention, it could look a little bit like this swimming pool. A Tier 1 prevention model is school-wide and/or classroom-wide systems for all students, staff, and settings. Just like the lifeguard in the pool, she is looking out for all of the swimmers. Secondary prevention happens with more specialized groups and works with systems for students with at-risk behavior. So just like in a swimming pool, often we need swimming lessons for swimmers that may need a little bit more support than just a lifeguard. And finally, this tertiary or Tier 3 prevention is going to be specialized, individualized, and it is a system for students at high risk. So think about flotation devices in a swimming pool. These are going to be for an individual swimmer and will help give them additional support while they'll still need swimming lessons and a lifeguard while they're in the pool. Thank you for listening to today's webinar about the importance and value of prevention and SEL for youth. In the next slides, you will see some resources and references to begin your prevention and social emotional planning. They can be accessed in the PDF copy of this slide deck.